Queen of turtlenecks, queen of plaid, queen of the Upper East Side, Fran Fine is still that girl. The Nanny was one of the most notable sitcoms of the 90s, lasting from 1993 to 1999 with a fish-out-of-water plot. Fran Fine's wittiness, loud personality, and the flirtatious tensions with her and Mr. Sheffield created a dynamic and entertaining chemistry that kept viewers invested, earning the title as the I Love Lucy of the 90s. Well, after the show ended, especially in the social media era, The Nanny has become famous for being one of the most stylish shows in sitcom history. The most desired image of 90s coolness was sleek, sophisticated minimalism, lots of muted colors, and structured but soft silhouettes. Fran Fine, on the other hand, brought color, patterns, and lots of it. 30 years later, we can't get enough of it, especially Sabrina Carpenter. It's easy to see why. Fran's style is sophisticated, but still very fun and playful. So how did this all come to be? How did she become the Nanny? It all started in 1991, on the set of Princesses, a sitcom that lasted one season, starring Fran Drescher, Julie Haggerty, and Twiggy. Fran would meet costume designer Brenda Cooper, where one very early 90s striped vest caught her eye. She said that if she ever had her own show, she'd want her to be the designer, and that's when she came up with the idea for it. After losing her job at a Queen's bridal shop and getting dumped, Fran seems to have hit rock bottom, until she unexpectedly becomes the nanny to the 3 children of the wealthy Mr. Sheffield on Manhattan's Upper East Side. On the side, Cece and Niles are constantly shading each other. The plots mostly focus on how different she is from everyone else in this environment. In comparison to the sophisticated, stuffy, theater-producing world, Fran's personality is loud, confident, and sassy, all with an underlying sweet side. And this definitely matches her sense of style. Cooper describes it as sassy with a sense of humor, a sense of wit, and an underpinning of elegance. Drescher also stated, "We never wanted her to look trashy, but we wanted her to look sexy in a way that was still sweet." But of course, the humor comes from how she looks way more extravagant than a typical nanny, and she acts not like a servant, but as a part of the family. She has breakfast with the Sheffields every day in her bathrobe. She's so casual about it. But let's be real. You have to get out of bed with nice warm blankets. It's better to start your day comfy and gradually. But nothing she wears is ever by accident. Every outfit is a statement. Most of the silhouettes feature a long sleeve top, a bodycon mini, and tights. But what makes her style pop was her eclectic use of bright colors and unique patterns. While she wore every color possible, many of the looks lean to vibrant shades of reds, blues, and yellows, which may or may not be patterned with designs like polka dots, plaid, florals, animal print, the list goes on. The entire set was constructed so she can wear anything without clashing with the background. Beige was a smart choice. What could clash with it? The designers ensured that Fran's colorful and quirky fits always popped on screen. Like when she has a piano-based job, what does she wear? A piano skirt. And when she drinks her tea, she wears a cheetah print blazer with her cheetah print teacup. And if there's a single, well-established dude around, she's just gonna casually slip something on. But in this 6-season series, with roughly 700 outfits worn by Fran, there was an aesthetic evolution sparked by her character development and a change of fashion trends throughout the 90s. So starting with season 1, after getting fired, Fran goes door to door selling cosmetics and comes across the very extravagant Sheffield house. She's mistaken for the nanny applicant, and she just goes with it. If she has to write the form with her lipstick, then so be it. She has on her famous and iconic Libby Rubin black blazer and skirt set with cheetah trim. The animal print was, as Fran Drescher put it, very sexy, very Queens. But I would say this also hints at her street-smart survival skills. Ooh, that alliteration. This look would set up her style motif for the rest of the series. Fran dresses how she wants to, not how she's expected. She cements this later in the episode where at the fancy house party, she wears a sparkly dress. Not sure if it's a vibrant red or some shade of purple. Maybe it's a mix of both. This would be the first scene where Fran has that moment where she walks down the stairs in an eye-catching evening gown. This happens again when she goes on a date with Cece's dad, who bought her a new dress. He loves spoiling her. This dress by Bob Mackie was initially custom-made for Madonna to wear at the 1991 Academy Awards. The design was a strappy, sparkly, old Hollywood design, also featuring Harry Winston diamond jewels, worth $20 million. While Madonna's style was more Marilyn Monroe-esque, Fran Fine evoked Audrey Hepburn in My Fair Lady, where she also had a sparkly white dress. You get the symbolic reference? Only she feels it's better if he goes with his daughter, Cece, who he doesn't spend much time with. And she wears her dress. Most of the costuming in the first season has what Brenda Cooper found from department stores, thrift stores, whatever she could find. While she still looks sleek, there is a kind of DIY essence that is unique to this particular season. A lot of the pieces were from Cheap and Chic, a subset of Moschino, which featured whimsical motifs and vibrant colors. There would also be some famous pieces, such as the black Rachel London crop top that Selena Quintanilla wore at the 1991 Tejano Music Awards, as well as the Dolce & Gabbana jackets that vaguely reminds me of the Global Village coffee house aesthetic. Fran regularly wears vests, but I'd say season 1 was the most vesty. This was also the peak of Fran's ruffled shirt era. In season 2, the show's budget was getting higher. Fran's style was still consistent, but a bit more refined. She no longer was outfit repeating. Less retail and more high fashion brands started becoming incorporated, specifically ones that had a playful, quirky aesthetic. Think Moschino, Todd Oldham, and Anna Sui. The colors started getting brighter. We start seeing a bit more experimentation. There are more sequins, stripes, gingham, and plaid than ever before. Personal standouts for me was the Todd Oldham kind of autumn shade dress, the Moschino black heart bag. Fran would seem to like those, and the Jean Paul Gaultier blazer and skirt set, which was notably shown in Clueless. There were a few Clueless references in season 2. There was also the Anna Sui yellow plaid set. There is so much color here, with the yellow plaid skirt blazer set, with the yellow-orange vest, a bright fuchsia shirt, and tie. Blazer skirt sets were very in at the time. So was plaid. In the era where stylized, grungy disheveledness was in vogue, and even in vogue, the mid-90s preppy micro-trend shook things up a bit. Plaid is one of Fran's trademarks, and when she combines it with a pleated skirt, the look takes on a distinctly youthful flair, reflecting her vibrant personality and playful confidence. Season 3 had the highest ratings of the show. It was at its peak in popularity. And this was when there was a Fran Fine doll. They did her dirty. She does not look like that. And I can only speak for myself, the fashions were at its peak as well. All the whimsical quirkiness mixed with polished, straight off the runway styles dominated this season. Like one moment, she'd have on Moschino cloud jeans, another, she'll casually be in a lime green Marc Jacobs jacket or a Dolce & Gabbana polka dot dress. I want it. And given all the bright colors and geometric patterns, some of her looks incorporated a bit of a 1960s flair. This was most evoked when she wore a Linda Segal color block dress that I'm pretty sure was inspired by the Mondrian collection of Yves Saint Laurent, which basically turned the 60s mod. She was also getting into headbands, which were coming back into fashion, as well as fur jackets. They were faux, but they nonetheless matched her glamorous sense of style, while also showing how she's elevating, socially, little by little. She seems to have a particular liking to this vibrant orange Betsy Johnson coat. I think it carried over to other seasons. One of her famous season 3 style moments included another Bob Mackie design. This was the yellow and white striped dress that was also featured in Casino. In the same episode, she eats wasabi straight up. The pain! And in one episode, she goes to an event in a shiny cheetah print gown, but is put on the worst dress list because she has a red purse. Maybe it's not the best match, but it's not worst dress list worthy. This is all Maxwell's fault, but probably the most iconic look of season 3 is when Fran goes on a date wearing a little black dress. This is one of Hervé Leger's bandage dresses, paired with a Moschino red heart purse, adding a loving feel to this sultry fit. This date is going really well. He even gets her a necklace, on top of all the other gifts. How can he afford all this? Like, Fran knows he's rich, but isn't sure from how. He just keeps saying how it's not important what he does or who he is. Something sketchy is going on, and Fran is now scared that she and the Sheffields are now in grave danger. If you're meeting someone and they're being vague about what they do for a living, best case scenario, they're unemployed. At worst, they're doing something illegal and possibly weird. So run. By the 4th season, Brenda Cooper left the show, with Sean Holly Cookson and Terry Gordon taking over costume design. By this point, Fran's style began leaning towards a slightly edgier and just slightly more casual tone. For one, she starts wearing more crop tops, and Fran's color palette has always been bright and colorful, but here it almost leans towards neon. It's a bit less New York City and more birdcage era Miami. This is probably the most candy-colored season. The playfulness is even more vivid and stylishly over the top. Like I said before, she wears a Moschino piano skirt. We also see this vibrant direction with the purple Issey Miyake blazer with a bright red top, the John Murrow lip dress, and I can't find the designer for this pink look, but it's kind of giving Xenon. This particular Laurel dress looks identical to a Barbie I used to have. I'd show a picture, but I looked all over the internet, I couldn't find it, but this look was a huge flashback for me. In season 5, Fran's style retains her signature boldness, but is somewhat more mature. This John Galliano look might be one of the most sophisticated she's ever worn. Also, the kitchen became orange. I like it better this way. Possibly one reason for her more elegant direction is that things are now getting serious. Since they've met, Max suffers from the problem of having too many women wanting him, including Fran. She was doing that thing where she was constantly throwing signs at him, and he's just like, "What signs?" And at the same time, he would get jealous when she'd go on dates, and in some cases, would try to sabotage them. And she can't even be seen arguing with him because potential suitors might think they're married. But whatever, they actually do get married. Fran wore a $12,000 wedding dress with a 4-foot-long train and a 15-foot-long veil. There's colorful flowers on the top and gold embroidery on the bottom, with a 7.5-carat ring. Ah! She's not a nanny anymore. She's set now. In season 6, the fashions were a bit of a wild card. We see the trademark blazers and turtlenecks, as well as the occasional experimentation. I'd guess the most famous look from season 6 was her Thierry Mugler camo set. Very Victoria Beckham from Spice World. She wore this at her first and last day at the country club, feeling like she doesn't fit in. But about half of her season 6 looks were maternity wear, still keeping her stylish, confident edge. And at the series finale, she's a mama of twins. In the end, The Nanny isn't just remembered for its laughs, it's remembered for its looks. Each season reflects Fran's growth, confidence, and unapologetic glamour. Also, with the office siren trend, if you wanted to pull off that look without getting fired, Fran Fine is a good inspo, especially with the blazers. Brenda Cooper says, "Fashion isn't superficial at all. No, never has been. I still get tweaked when I hear people say this multi-billion, trillion-dollar business is superficial. Fashion is self-expression. It's a confidence builder." And that's all I have for the fashion of The Nanny. Which one is your favorite? If you'd like me to look into other 90s sitcom styles, I'm personally thinking Hilary Banks. You're free to let me know in the comments. Check out my Patreon, super cool exclusive stuff is on there, and thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!